It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, welcome back in. I guess I just said that to myself and the guy to my right and the guy behind the glass. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and CB. Good to see you, my friends.
Oh, he's back, baby. He's back. AR is officially back in the building. Listen, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute. I got nervous because you've always told me, you know, Matty, when you take some of these vacations in the summertime and it extends out for a few days, you know, you're sitting around and you enjoy that. And I thought that maybe I was going to get an email that we were hanging your jersey up in the rafters, that it was done. But here you are, live and in the flesh, and it's so good to see you. Shout out to everybody that filled in. Appreciate those guys. But we are officially back as a family.
Yes, this is the first show that the three of us have done, it feels like, in months. So it's cool to kind of get back and feel a little back in my comfortable Kmart clothes and just kind of sit around and talk some sports with you guys. It's a big week. I certainly didn't want to miss it, just a little under the weather. And as it's always been said about this season, it's a marathon, and you want to be able to make it 6-7 day weeks and all the stuff that we love to talk about. So took another day just to kind of get through. I didn't want to miss Shefty because I had a million fantasy questions for him. I don't know if any of them would have gotten answered. I almost texted you guys about, well, the couple that popped my mind was, all right, Puka, injured, not really injured. Are we worried at all? Rashee Rice, suspension, yes, no, probably not. What else did I have? Those were probably my two biggest.
I want you to know, I did try yesterday. I tried. I said, Shefty, do you have any sleepers for us? Oh. And he said, essentially, go read an article. I'm not giving you anything on the air. Go sign up for ESPN Plus and read my article.
Reading is fundamental.
We got from Schefter. But, yeah, you know, I walked in this morning. You and CB were sitting, you know, at your desk, and there really wasn't much, hey, how you been? We just got straight to fantasy talk, and that's how I knew we were officially back. So we're so back.
Here's the good news is that I probably took the biggest hit for fast-forwarding the draft order. And I think what would have happened, if I would have done this, because I did this when I was here Thursday and Friday, you guys were not.
Yeah.
I was done doing mock drafts. I'm sick of them. How do you do a mock draft not knowing where you pick? You can't. It's just stupid.
Right.
And so I fast-forwarded that to Friday. We did it live in the show. You get second. Outstanding spot for you.
Not mad at it.
And then I wanted to dump all the way to where CB did. He got the turn at 14 and 15. And I'm sitting there at 12, which I was very disappointed at first. Then I talked myself off the ledge, and now I think I'm just outside of where I needed to be. Yeah. I think you probably need to be 9 or better. And I know 9 sounds like no man's land, but I think there's eliteness there. The very interesting stuff will be in our draft on whether Jamar Chase, if nothing happens before Monday, then how far does he drop in our draft? How far does Jefferson drop based on what we're one snap away from Nick Mullins throwing to him?
Hey, Nick looked all right last year.
I'm just saying.
Nick looked all right.
Yeah, for an entire season. All right, so that's the fun part of fantasy is do you attach yourself to the player, the team, the quarterback, all that. And so we're all set. So you'll be 2. We'll be watching you. You will set the tone for our group here. One of us has to win it this year. I say it every year. But the best roster doesn't always win.
It's a long journey, man. And when you're talking about a 14-team league, it's just a heck of a league. If you get to the back end of the draft, and some of the guys you're drafting are just – they're not sexy names. But I'm ready. I cannot wait any longer. I've been itching. I haven't done a single fantasy draft yet. I'm only in 2 leagues, and both those leagues draft next week. So we'll cook Monday night, and then I'm doing it again on Tuesday night. And then Thursday – it's here. We're getting Chiefs Ravens, and it's all downhill from there.
Yeah. We do have college football tonight.
Let's go.
And I will tell you, I don't know if we really do.
What do you mean?
We have 4 ranked teams playing tonight, and I'm going to tell you what the favorites are combined, okay? We have 4 teams playing tonight, NC State, Mizzou, Kansas, and Utah.
Where we at?
They're all ranked, preseason top 25. I think they're ranked, or they're favored by a combined 169 points. Like, NC State's favored by 32.5. Mizzou's favored by 49.5. Kansas is favored by 49 and Utah's favored by 40.
Let me tell you.
You're really telling me the college football starts tonight?
Oh, it's officially back because you didn't mention the game that I am going to be locked in on that I think we all need to be locked in on. And that's North Dakota State taking on Colorado. Colorado plays at 8 o'clock tonight on ESPN. And over at Bet365, I looked, and Colorado's only favored by 9 points in this game. North Dakota State, they're a heck of a program. And Deion already commented at Big 12 Media Days like, hey, he talked to my AD, and that's not a game you really want to play right out of the gate. So I think that game has a chance to be interesting maybe for 3 quarters. So that's where I'll be tonight. But you got some Big Ten action. You got some stars playing. Luther Burden, wide receiver from Missouri. He'll be out there cooking. CB's all in on this North Carolina-Minnesota game. He's been hyping that up the last couple of days. But for me, AR, 8 o'clock.
Ooh, I like that one.
ESPN, North Dakota State, Colorado, Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter, and then whatever Coach Prime's going to be doing, which is always entertaining.
CB, what game are you into? The Minnesota NC game?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Life after Drake May for North Carolina, and then it's a Minnesota team that will probably give Darius Taylor, the running back, like 30, 35 carries if he's healthy.
They have a new quarterback in Brosmer.
Where did he transfer in from?
He transferred in from out
an FCS program.
He was an FCS
Knox
guy.
is going to kill me. He's going to absolutely kill me.
The bro spinning it?
It was east. It was east. It was like
Eastern Illinois. He one of those guys. Where did he come from?
East, like
okay, on the East Coast. Where you're telling me?
Yeah, New Hampshire.
Okay, so he transferred in from New Hampshire because Kaliak Manis is now at Rutgers, who was at Minnesota last year.
This kid, Max Brosmer, 6'2", 225, lit it up last year. Passing yards. He was I'm very curious to watch him throw football.
I will say this, AR, that is a very good jersey on jersey game. I think that's going to be aesthetically pleasing.
Minnesota UNC?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be here for that. I don't know if they're doing any alternates, but the maroon and gold with the baby blue and white, that I think
you'll be able to tell them apart?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's good.
Absolutely. So, yes, I think we're officially back. We're more back than we were last week with week 0.
Yeah. So I listened to the Ryan Day, the first coaches show with the fellas, and they had Ross Bjork on at the end. And he was almost like an assistant coach today. He was pumping up his boy. He was, let's slow the roll. Let's play him one game at a time.
Slow your roll, player?
Now we got a plan. Let's applaud the plan. Like he does. I mean, I'm surprised because his own quarterback dropped the championship or bust.
Out of your bust,
and
baby.
then Ross Bjork said that is not on the banner. Take that down, and we'll hang that sometime later when the tournament starts. Like, honestly, he did drop I don't want any of this or bust, and I was like, man, you don't have to say it, but don't not say it.
I think he can have a different perspective, and what you mentioned is also real within that locker room. That Will Howard, his teammates, probably some of the coaches too, they've been walking around the last few months and saying, we got a squad. We got a squad. We're going to have to grind and take it step by step, and they're going to do those things. But they're well aware of how talented they are, and I think the world knows how talented they are and can be. Obviously, it's a brutal sport. Injuries are going to happen, so we'll see when those do happen, how it impacts them. But that's why Coach Day and a lot of coaches have been talking about depth this year and developing that early on. But the expectation level for this program is sky high, and it should be based off of the returning talent, the talent that they've added from the portal, and just everything that they've invested into this season and the seasons to come based off of what recruiting looks like even outside of this year. But I heard Ross Bjork say that, and I understand what he's trying to do, but we've heard from the guys themselves that are going to be out there. And like I said, they know what time it is, and they're embracing it, and I actually like that they're embracing it.
I'm okay with not fast-forwarding the results.
Yeah.
What I don't want is to roll back the expectation. That's all. I'm perfectly fine with you can't beat Michigan Saturday, and you can't beat Georgia the following Saturday. I get that. That's perfectly fine, and it's very realistic when it comes to team games and football and trying to build what they want to become at the most vital part of the season. But let's not slow the expectations. Let's not slow those down. Let's not roll those back. Let's just say we'll talk about those opportunities when they come, but they're there, and it's realistic. So the whole – because then I think – I know what's happening. you don't want people to focus on stuff they can't do anything about today. I get that. It's
got to be step by step. I'm labeling this season, AR, the Arya Stark hit list season. You know, when Arya, when she was ready to go to sleep, she was rolling, Jaime Lannister, the Hound, Cersei Lannister, just going through everybody.
The House of the.
No, this is Game of Thrones. Arya, when
faces?
When she was trying to take out everybody. Yeah, the faces. When she was trying to take out everybody, right? She was rolling through step by step who she needed to take out. That's what Ohio State has to do this year. It starts with Akron. We know what they're going to do, and probably for the coming weeks. But
it doesn't really.
It's got to start with teams like Iowa and Oregon and Penn State, and then working your way down to Michigan. Maybe that Nebraska game shows itself as something, with Nebraska having a chance to rack up some wins before they come down here with a talented quarterback. So that's where we're at. 2024 season for me is the Arya Stark hit list season for Ohio State, name by name, team by team. That's what you got to do.
Yeah. Well, and it is what they have to do if they want to earn the bye. I mean, that's the big deal about it. We've talked so much about the expanded playoff, and I'm starting to wrap my mind around how this is. Could we have lasted with 4 teams for a while? Of course, we could have. And you could convince me that number 5 on any given year could win a title, maybe, right? I mean, you get a Bama on the outside looking in. If they get in, do they have the talent to win? That kind of thing. But the bracket and all of that, I think it's kind of exciting now. I understand that you don't have true elimination games anymore. Not for the big boys. Ohio State would have something catastrophic would have to happen to a big boy. They'd have to have 3 losses for them not even to be in it. And so most of these teams can suffer 2 losses and still get a bite at the apple. I'm looking forward to it. I know we've had to embrace it. There's a reason why you can't, and I mentioned this last week, there's a reason why you can't pick the exact national championship game, because you don't know who you're going to run into. You and I are betting on Ohio State versus Texas. They might be on the same side of the damn draw and that kind of thing. The other thing I did when you guys were gone, and then I was gone forever, was the fact that I asked Scotty about the percentage chance of Ohio State winning at all. And I went, it's more than a coin flip for me. It has to be. It's just in my mind. I think their roster says they have more than a coin flip. I think it's an insult to say that it would be less than that. Now, reality might tell you it's less than that. Scotty was like at 35%, which is higher than what ESPN's FPI is.
What is the FPI? I still don't understand what the hell that is.
Well, it just puts all the criteria into one big bag and mixes it up about
too much math,
schedule strength and this and that and the other. Yeah,
too much math for me.
Yeah, but we're like knee-jerk reaction. Percentage they win the title.
I'll tell you after the break.
I'll tell you after the break. What to pull up. CB, you'll have to have one too. The king of the teas. It's awesome. I want to get that out of you, because I'll tell you where my number was. And it's weird that my number is being looked at as so high. And I think what it's coming back to is people saying it's just reality. Yeah. Reality bites. All right, we'll come back. Kirk Herbstreit, another one in the slow the hype a little. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Chops his serial killer eyes, and Reeser can grow a full beard before lunch. What can your friends do? Bishop and Friends.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
If you're listening to this and you're not already keeping it easy in your backyard with a Bud Light, well, consider this message a gentle reminder. Your backyard is waiting, and so is that Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No. Because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
You want a sub freshly sliced to order? You go to Jersey Mike's. You want the perfect radio idea? You go to me. Like this. I'm a lone ninja warrior. By night, I glide unseen across the rooftops, watching my enemies from the shadows. By day, I go to Jersey Mike's, watching someone freshly slice my sub. My blade is called Shadow. His blade is a Berserker brand meat slicer. Clearly, I have much to learn about this land. Freshly sliced just for you. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
The delicious ice-cold taste of Dr. Pepper has a lasting effect on people. Lindsay from Sacramento said,
Pro tip, 40 degrees is the perfect temperature for an ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
why is 40 degrees the perfect temperature for Dr. Pepper? We brought in Sue from Duluth, Minnesota to tell us.
Oh, yeah, I know a thing or two about cold. Oh, that right there is the perfect kind of ice cold for Dr. Pepper. I'd share that with my friend Nancy. She likes Dr. Pepper, too, you know. My coldest...
All right, that'll be all, Sue. Having a perfect temperature for your Dr. Pepper? It's a Pepper thing. Inspired by real fan posts.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting over... Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
Jeremy Foltz, CEO and co-founder of 3C Technology Solutions, speaks about working with First Bank of Central Ohio.
I think FBCO had a really nice personal touch. Transition was really easy and much cleaner than I thought it would be. Some very specific things that made me very excited to work with them are availability and creativity.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Did you and your family lose Ohio Medicaid and need health coverage? Check this out. You may be eligible to enroll in a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov offers quality plans that cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, we are looking at partly the mostly cloudy skies, high 93. A late day shower is possible. A mostly dry night tonight, low 72. Hot and humid tomorrow with a high of 97. OSU football is set to kick off on Saturday. Keep an eye to the skies. We will have some rain in the area on Saturday. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, going to be a heck of a season. There's a lot of, yes, it depends. I understand that. Depends how this happens. Depends how the offensive line. Depends how Will Howard looks. Depends on injuries. Of course. It's for every team. Scotty Vegas weighs in. Appreciate his insight and handicapping ability and tells me that the odds say Ohio State's 20% to win it all.
Scotty, while you're listening, go ahead and send me your daily parlay because I know you're cooking something up. That's going to be a nice little ticket for us.
No doubt. But he's in the high stakes.
The high rollers club?
Yeah, right.
That's where Scotty's at. You know what?
You stay in the penny slots.
I'm with Scotty. I'd be around 35%.
Well, so you're higher. Well, he's saying the actual odds.
Say 20%?
Yeah.
I'd probably be around 35%. You said you're north of 50?
You're saying I feel like I'm above a coin flip with this roster. Okay. And maybe I've bought into what Urban and Tress and
been a lot of hype. Urban and Tress said this is one of the best rosters they've ever seen in college football. And those guys have coached some dudes, as we know. Yeah. So, when you hear that, I completely understand where your mind could go. I guess I'm factoring into my math. Mm-hmm. Let's say they don't get the bye. Let's say Oregon wins the Big Ten and they're one of the top 4. Then you're talking about more of a journey, right? I think that's in play for a lot of people. We got people picking Oregon to win the national championship. A lot of respect for what Dan Lanning has cooked up so far out there, but that's where I'm at. And I do think there's a few teams from the SEC that I could look at and say they could win it as well. So there's a few teams in the pool for me that I think can win the Natty, but there's no doubt Ohio State is in the upper echelon of those teams, splitting hairs between Georgia and the Buckeyes this year.
So I guess that's where I've come to my stupid math, is that if I believe there are 3.5 to 4.5 big boys, Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, throw in another, we'll give a couple halves to maybe
Ole Miss.
We'll give a half to Ole Miss, and who do we want to give the other half to?
Some Bama love out there for some people.
Yeah, their schedule's just
everybody's schedule in the SEC.
But theirs is really tough.
Even Georgia's too, AR. Like, I'm very curious to see what their record looks like when they hit the finish line with 3 monster games on the road. I mean, they get Texas, Bama, and Ole Miss all on the road. And I know they got Carson Beck, who's a problem, but I would not be surprised if Georgia throws up a 10-2 this year based off of that schedule.
They're not going undefeated.
Right.
I agree with you on that. So my stupid math, this is where I got it. I said, if there are 4 big boys, the 4 that I mentioned, Ohio State's one of them. That means they're one of the 4. I just chopped it in half and said, all right, well, they got at least a 50% chance to win based on I think that they're one of the best 4. Now, the stupid math would be, well, wait, that makes it 25%. Like, they're only 25%. But they don't have to beat all 3. Like, so I'm putting it that way. Like, you're not going to have to take out, if you're one of the big boys, you're not going to have to face, they're not going to, I shouldn't say this, I don't know. They're probably not going to have to, they could have to be 2 of them. You know, maybe you got to beat a Texas and a Georgia.
Right.
You know, it's obviously not easy, but I also feel like, fast forward to yourself to those games, like, are they going to be a big underdog in those games? Like, they're going to have, at least in my mind, a 50% chance of winning any game that they line up against any other team in the playoff.
But that's a coin flip, though. But that's just a coin flip that you're talking about. So, yeah.
They're going to be in the tournament.
No question. They better be in the tournament. If they're not in the tournament, then something went massively wrong. So, you know, that's what I think is exciting about this year is the unknown of what we're going to see in this bracket and whether or not you get the bye, you don't get the bye, and especially if you don't, the journey that you're going to have to go on and hope that health is on your side, because you're talking about, if you want to win it all, playing 16, 17 games. So for me, if this team at minimum, if they aren't in the Final Four, to me, that's a massive disappointment. Massive disappointment. Anything beyond that's up in the air as far as winning it all, the natty or bust stuff, just because of the respect I got for other programs and the talent that they have as well.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you. This isn't Ohio State and the rest are nothing. So I'm just trying to tear it up a little bit. Yeah. Where yes, they should be there. Yes, they probably will be close to a bye. If not, they still have as good or as better talent as anybody. Herbstreit brought up something interesting on McAfee's show, and you brought this up, last segment, which is it does take a team. We've had some very good teams at Ohio State that haven't won. I've covered not a million. I've covered a good handful of the ones that woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
And this team does not want to fall into that category of the woulda, coulda, shoulda, and he kind of brought that to the attention.
A lot of times people bring up Ohio State. If it's not now, then when? You know, they bought in. They're going to win. It's like
I do that on game day, actually.
But I'm saying, dude,
I was right
at the end of the day, when was the last time Ohio State took the field with a shortage of talent?
Well, not this much talent. I heard it straight from the horse's mouth.
But I'm saying,
you don't
Marvin Harrison
against Michigan last
Smith and Jigba. I mean, Ohio State has had the last 10 years, Ohio State's had NFL players all over their roster. I don't look at this roster, I really don't, and go, oh my God, they have Caleb Down.
$20 million.
Holy cow, Ohio State's serious this year. They got Will Howard, who's going to get beat out. He's going to get beat out at Kansas State. Wow. Holy cow. They got Will Howard. Oh, my God. They got Junkins, who was a backup at Ole Miss.
He'll be kicking tackle in a video game.
He's not going to start at Ohio State. Trevion Henderson's. So I don't. Ohio State's had it's about, are they going to come together? It's about, are they going to be a team?
Are there like 3 conversations going on at the same time?
That's McAfee and his minions. I don't know what the heck that was. But
is Herbie talking?
Yeah, he's trying to talk.
Oh, okay.
He's trying to talk, and McAfee and his minions just keep chiming in there. I hear what Herbie's saying because the history of this program with elite players, guys that have gone on to the NFL, is very rich. We all know it. So Herbie is looking at it from the perspective of the guys that they acquire now. This roster isn't like, one of the, let's say like an Iowa State that would acquire all this talent at once, and we know they've had some lean years beyond that. There's always dudes suiting up for the Scarlet and Gray. So I completely understand what Herbie is saying. I think the thing that's kind of, I don't want to say working against Ohio State, but the pushback for some people when they would hear that is the dollar figure that's been thrown out for this year's roster. But that's just the name of the game now. And a lot of the teams that I think will be good this year, I think have been big spenders this offseason because that's just what you got to do to a certain point to be in the mix.
I agree. This is, I'm a realist when it comes to what could happen. You and I sat together and watched that Clemson game and saw the controversy around it and saw that Ohio State could have easily won that game and gone on to play LSU. We saw what happened with Marvin Harrison against Georgia. These are all what ifs.
The kick, too.
The kick. I mean, they're a kick away from going to play TCU. He had just made a 48-yarder. They're inside. Yeah. But pressure comes in all different ways. And who knows, maybe they could have got him closer. We don't have to relive that. What I'm saying is I understand that very, very talented teams don't always win. Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of sports. That's the beauty of what this season could be. And they've got to go out and prove it. And so everyone's right in what they say. I just feel like if we're going to lean one way, let's lean into, let's see if this is everything they've said it was going to be. The Will Howard pressure on him is immense. And I know he doesn't have, they keep tamping that down too. He doesn't have to be this guy. He doesn't have to be that guy. Probably because they know he can't be that guy, but he can bring a lot more to the table. Ryan Day talked about it today. Man, his legs, that equation that he taps into this year versus what he had with McCord is massive.
When you mention being that guy, I just think he's going to have to be that guy in spots throughout the year because I truly believe that the support that he's going to have around him will allow him to be a veteran quarterback that can just be the definition of a game manager, which I think can be a very, very promising thing for a team that has the dudes that they have. So he's mentioned it before. I heard him this offseason say, you know what, I know I don't need to be a superhero. And I think that's the great mindset to have this year because of the Jeremiah Smiths and the Quinshon Judkins and the Travion Hendersons. Those guys are going to cook all the time. He'll do his thing, and if he does that and stays consistent, this offense will be just fine.
One of the most understated great players in NFL history will join us next. Harry Carson, the Hall of Fame linebacker from the Giants. It is a Gold Jacket Thursday. We will talk more Buckeyes in the second hour, our final hour with Dave Biddle. But up next, we do talk with Harry Carson, number 53, and I believe number 231 into Canton. He'll join us next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
More and more people are falling into problem gambling. Mary Haven's experts offer comprehensive care. You and your loved ones can count on mental, emotional, and financial guidance.
Confidential and judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Be Honest Bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Get your air conditioner fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling, 1-800-COOLING.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Hey, Buckeye fans, ready for the chance to win one of 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences? As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. We're talking tickets, sideline passes, a trip for two to the Oregon game, and exclusive access to the Ryan Day Coaches Show. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 winners. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Back to school time. Your kids probably have fancy friends. Isn't it about time you gave them a ride to be proud of? Actually, hell with the kids. Treat yourself to a new Lexus. Right now, it's the Golden Opportunity Sales Event with rates as low as 2.99% on ES, NX, and RX, as well as great lease payments. I've been a Jermaine customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. JermaineLexus.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LEARN for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LEARN for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LEARN.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Gold Jacket Thursday.
Sponsored by the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. Plan your perfect summer trip at columbuszoo.org.
All right, welcome back to a Gold Jacket Thursday. You know, from 1976 to 88, this man was one of the most respected and feared linebackers in the NFL. As a result of his play, number 53 on the field became number 231 to be enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 06 in Canton, Ohio. He's back in football heaven this weekend. We welcome Harry Carson to the program. Harry, how you feeling?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Outstanding to have you aboard, my man. Let me take you back. You get drafted. Marty Schottenheimer is the linebackers coach in New York. You get drafted in the 4th round. What did he know that all the other teams didn't?
Well, it was something which he recognized that I was a pretty good run stopper. Even though I played defensive end, I played some nose tackle my senior year, and I think because of that, he recognized that I could play that center position like a middle linebacker from a standing position as opposed to being a nose tackle with my hand in the dirt. So he brought me to camp prior to everybody else to teach me how to play middle linebacker. And everything that he wanted me to do, I did it ass backwards, but I got the same or better results. And so he just allowed me to play the game the way that I played the game. And I learned from it. I wound up making the all-rookie team. And subsequently, I was NFC linebacker of the year a couple of times. And the rest is history.
Harry, I want to go back to your time before the NFL because I always think it's pretty cool, personally for me, where guys come from colleges that aren't those big brands that a lot of people know. Can you take us through your journey of, growing up in South Carolina and then going to South Carolina State and what that time meant to you and as a player before you got to the NFL?
Well, I wound up at South Carolina State because I quit the team my senior year. I had a little disagreement with the coach, and in essence, I cut my own throat because I was being scouted by, a lot of bigger institutions. One of the teachers at my school said, you should be going to somebody's school and being a part of somebody's program. And she took me to South Carolina State. When I got there, I first met Donnie Shell and Barney Chavis. But as a freshman coming in, it was interesting to make that transition from high school to college. But looking back on it, it was probably the best 4 years of my life because I was playing somewhere that I knew that the coaches cared about me, not just as a athlete or a football player, but also as a man moving forward and preparing me for life after the game.
We're visiting with the 9-time Pro Bowl linebacker from the New York Giants, Harry Carson, here on Rothman and Ice. You were a captain, and in '86, you guys make that Super Bowl against the Broncos. If my memory serves me correct, you had beaten them, I believe, in the regular season. Defensive game. What do you remember most about how Bill Parcells and your defense coordinator, Bill Belichick, unbelievable combination there, prepared you for a Super Bowl? What do you remember from that time?
Well, there's so much that I remember that if I open that can, I'll be talking until about 2:30 this afternoon.
Were they more alike than they were different, Bill and Bill?
No, they were very much alike. I think the one factor that I noticed was, Bill Parcells he was my coach before he was the head coach, and there were times when Parcells wanted to tinker around with the defense, but he had to stay away because Belichick was instituting his own way of getting things done. And so they worked together, and they worked with the players. And the thing that I remember about that whole situation is it was the one time where everybody checked their egos at the door. Nobody cared about how many touches a wide receiver was going to get or a running back was going to get. Everybody did what they had to do. They just submitted their egos to just being team players. And everybody was on the same page. I played a lot of football over my career, and I have to say that was probably the one time when, it was about the team. It was about winning. It was about leadership. It was about just not caring about who got the credit. And so that was really the thing that I took away from, winning a Super Bowl. You really do have to subvert your ego, and you may not necessarily have the best game. Like, Lawrence Taylor was the star player on defense, but Carl Banks was the one who probably should have been, defensive player of the game. So.
I want to dig in a little bit more on Lawrence Taylor and just the combination of you two, playing defense together, because there's some really good defensive line tandems now in the game today. Can you talk about how when you have a guy opposite of you, and you're a Hall of Fame talent in your own right, and having a Hall of Famer on the other side, how you guys work together and just how that benefited the both of you on Sundays?
Well, it was. We had the. I don't want to say we had the freedom to improvise, but there were times when, because we knew each other for such a long time. I mean, we played, I think, about 6 years together, and I knew that Lawrence was a guy who, if he saw something, he was going to go after it. And I was able to read off of him, and if he tried to do something and if it didn't work, I would be that second line of defense. And so we played off of one another, which you don't really see that a whole lot now, because when a coach says do this, you do it to the letter. Whereas Belichick knew that myself, Carl Banks, Gary Reasons, Lawrence Taylor, we were going to perhaps play off of one another and, make plays. And so, when you have that kind of trust in players, which I don't think that happens a whole lot now, because, it's such a transient business now. Guys play and then they get cut, or they seek more money or whatever. They have to learn how to play off of one another as you move forward. So it was great to be able to have those guys, especially Lawrence, because Lawrence was just like a little wild dog. Sometimes things worked, sometimes they didn't. But I was there to help, guide him through, or my other teammates guide them through situations that we might have been in.
He is Harry Carson, New York Giants Ring of Honor Pro Football Hall of Famer. You can meet him at the Hall in Canton this weekend, tomorrow, 12:15 to 12:45. And then, of course, on Sunday, he'll be the Hall of Famer at the Hall in the Gold Jacket Lounge, 11 to 11:30. And he will be there. Stop by, say hi. He will greet you there in football heaven. I'll take you back to 86 real fast, and I know your time is short here, but I want to get in a little bit on the strategy going up against a guy like Elway. I mentioned you had beaten them in the close one during the regular season in a defensive game. What was that strategy like in that Super Bowl, trying to go up against Elway and shut him down a little bit?
Well, we had to have a good pass rush, and we had that good pass rush with George Martin and Leonard Marshall and Jim Burt. Lawrence from the outside linebacker position. We had to not give them big plays where, you miss a tackle and the guy goes down the field for a touchdown. So we had to corral them in and, and just put pressure on Elway and make him make errant passes. And so, once we got into the game, it was kind of interesting. Nobody really talks about this, but, we came from the East Coast, and it was cold in New York, New Jersey area. And so when we came, it was probably 80-something degrees. The sun was out, and we just didn't have the energy that we thought we were going to have the first part of that game. We go in for halftime, and, with entertainment and everything, the sun went behind the stands. And when we came out, it had cooled down considerably. And so when we took the field, it was like we were re-energized. And, we were able to play at a much better or higher tempo because the sun was behind the stands, and it had cooled down considerably at that point, and that helped us. And nobody really knew anything about that, but believe me, we knew the difference between the start of the game and the latter part of the game, when we went from being just in the heat to basically being in the cold. But it was in the Rose Bowl, and everything worked out well for us at that point.
Indeed. You blew them out in the second half, and you went on to be a historic team. We are with Harry Carson, one of the great linebackers to ever suit up, perhaps the number one inside linebacker in NFL history. That, obviously, according to Pro Football Weekly back in the day, but so many people commented on your play, what you meant as a captain, and what you did in your career. I'm so happy you're back in Canton. We'll send the fans up there from the Big Blue Wrecking Crew to see you in the Crunch Bunch. Thanks, Harry. It's so great to talk with you. I'm glad you're well.
It's a pleasure talking with you guys, and you guys can come up yourselves tomorrow, and we can hang out.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, you can come. You can come, and you can perhaps we could have lunch together.
Wouldn't that be fantastic? I was up there for enshrinement. I never turned down an excuse to get to Canton. So thanks for your time, and we hope to see you soon. And hopefully your Giant fans will be visiting you. Thanks so much.
All right, my pleasure.
You got it. Harry Carson with us on a Gold Jacket Thursday. If we didn't have a Buckeye game, Maddie, might be able to pull that off. We come back with a bulletin, and will a brand new Buckeye have his Hello World moment this weekend? You'll hear about it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The only show where sports talk is eclipsed by food talk. Oh, nuts. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. The people who refuse to make trade-offs in life. Like Kelly, when her old car insurance got so expensive that she couldn't afford to drive anymore, do you think she started carrying her groceries for miles? No. But she did find Direct Auto's savings that allowed her to drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25%, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a quote today at directauto.com. Savings based on applied discounts and will vary. Terms apply. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Common Man and T-Bone here for our friends at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Bone, do you know that there's games going on this weekend?
Oh, I know. And your game day headquarters is the sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Massive TV walls, 12,000 square feet, and all the gaming action you could want.
Wager at one of 4 betting windows and 30-plus betting kiosks. Beat the crowd and reserve a table for all game days this fall at HollywoodColumbus.com.
Wow, private table. Must be nice. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
At Pella, we use the newest technology to show you exactly how new windows would look on your home.
Well, we keep it simple at our window place. We use a number 2 pencil to draw what your house will look like with our new windows. See?
Oh, yeah. That definitely looks like a number 2.
Thank you, Leslie. Wait. I see what you did there.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
Hey, it's Anthony here for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Rich is rolling out all of his new Hondas at 2.9% up to 60 months. Just not including the Civic Si and Civic Type R, but all the other awesome new Hondas, 2.9%. You love certified? He has the dream deal. 0.99% APR for 36 months on the 23s and 24s, Civics, HRVs, CRVs, pilots, and passports. When you think Honda, you have to visit Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Friday night in the Buckeye State means only one thing. High school football, baby. Join Ryan Baker and Coach Lee Cochran for Byers Dublin Subaru High School Overtime.
Friday night at 9:30.
Your home of all things football. The Fan. Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. You seem pretty happy this morning. I invented a song. You know songwriters have an actual word for inventing a song. Everything we want people to know about eco. Ready? Can't wait. Get eco. G-E-T-E-C-O. Get eco. They can really go. Get eco. For your Cinco. Fix and a Blinko. You'll thinko. Hooray. Get eco. G-E-T-E-C-O. Get eco. You'll be cool like snow. Get eco. Like an ice Ringo. Puerto Rico. Get eco today. What do you think? You know we don't serve Puerto Rico, right? I do know that. I mean, the drive alone from Ohio is like, geez. Way too far. But you ran out of rhymes for eco? You gotta admit, the rest is pretty catchy. Oh, it's earworming already.
Get eco.
As is that thing.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas. Loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky's Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Feeling the heat? Call the experts at Logan Services now for hot deals on train systems, including 0% APR for 60 months.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. Maddie, this was kind of a little throwaway comment during the coaches show today that the Buckeyes are not staying at the Blackwell.
They staying at your house?
The
you having some guys stay at the Turtle?
It's opened up for you and I to actually stay at the Blackwell, especially for those noon games. So the whole thing was, hey, we're just going to stay downtown.
Yeah.
Downtown. It's all downtown, Maddie. You got to go downtown.
So you're telling me they're keeping it a secret? They don't want people flooding where they're going to be staying at? Is that part of this equation here?
I don't know if that's it. It's a nice, tough question you've asked there at the presser. But apparently the Blackwell is pretty busy before games on those weekends, and the Buckeyes probably don't need that distraction. They need more room. You know, those walkthroughs, they take space.
Need a conference room, man.
I need space, for activities and things. Then here's something I want to get your opinion on, maybe both of you guys. So that's the one thing, no Blackwell, and I'm a little bit... So that means they're not walking over. They don't do that walk to the skull session. They still go to the skull session. But where do they walk in from? Do they just arrive? Do we just Dumbo drop them in there,
They come in parachutes, all of them just fly in.
So that will be a little bit of a loss of tradition if they're not doing the walk. Now, if they drop them off at the Blackwell, like you pull the bus in there and they still make the walk, we're all good. Okay. The second part about it I want to ask you is this. With NIL and everything that's going on, a lot of these guys like to have clothing deals and things. They want to look they want to feel like a pro. That's been a big part of pro sports now for a while is what these guys wear into the games in all sports.
Got to have the drip right. Hockey players do it the best, in my opinion.
The drip, he gone.
What do you mean?
Sweats, baby. Team gear.
We're going tracksuits?
Team gear.
Okay. Maybe that's...
Did you know that? Team gear now. No suits.
I mean, if I was a player, I would probably prefer that, to be honest, especially when it's going to be hot out.
I agree with you.
Tracksuit's hot too, though, big dog.
I'm with you on the comfort
or the
part
short sleeves.
But these guys, don't underestimate their wanting to make that walk in what they put together.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Day left it up to the players. Maybe the guys were like, you know what? We want to go with tracksuits. I would be a suit type of guy. Like, I like coming into the game in a nice little suit, you know what I'm saying, with a fresh haircut. That's just me personally. But whatever's going to get those guys mentally and physically ready to go, it's all that matters.
Well, this is supposedly designed to look like the Army they are, to look like that team. Okay. To not have you in that suit, me in this tie, that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to feel like we're all wearing the same thing. As you know, I am 100% for this, for the comfort level of it. If these guys are walking in kicks and sweats, I mean, how could you want to travel any other way? But I understand this may be, but it was up to them. So that's the decision was made today. It was kind of a throwaway today. Like, oh, wait a minute, not staying at the Blackwell, we're not wearing suits. Really, what's going on? And it's more about, let's go do our thing night before game day. Let's wear our thing. And that's where
it's all about ball, man. Ball about ball. As long as you're out there executing, I don't think anybody's going to care what they wear into the game.
Yeah, you still do the Fridays, at the golf course and all that. But it'll be interesting to see that walk into the skull. Jeremiah Smith, starting from day one. You heard it a little bit ago. They talked more about it today on the show. And it's an interesting time. Maybe he'll have his hello world moment this weekend, but here's Ryan Day on Jeremiah Smith.
He's been consistent, been very workmanlike since he's been here. Played strong and physical in the run game, but, he's shown to be a deep threat down the field, mature beyond his years, and he's embraced special teams when asked there. So excited to see, how he looks on Saturday and start his career.
should have a moment or two or three
or five.
You
based
never
off
know.
of what we've been hearing this all season. Interesting, tad bit in there is the deep threat part. And we'll see if that continues to be his role this year. It sounds like he'll be able to do a lot of things, but Coach Day, maybe taking us behind the curtain there a little bit with talking about him being an explosive playmaker down the field will be interesting to monitor. So they got a good group. They got 4 really good guys and some other guys that they're confident in, but he's the guy I know a lot of people are going to be focused on come Saturday.
Odds on the first play mean a deep bomb to him. Very low.
Yeah, I'd probably go, little handoff to whoever's starting that running back. Set the tone.
Hey, Will, go out there and wing it.
Yeah.
They could against Akron.
It'd be what I would do if I was calling plays.
The stretch the field part is massive, I agree. And his ability to catch it from anywhere will be something to be seen this year. And the fact that he gets to start right away and get those reps early where he can work up his confidence and everything else is going to be huge. All right, that is today's Buckeye Bulletin. All right, if you're winging it around your house and not trying to have your bathroom look the best, you need to call my friends at the Bath Authority. So your bath or shower, something you presumably want to have nice, you can have something from the Bath Authority that is yours. You can put your signature on it. So don't keep looking at that outdated bath, the mold, the mildew, the shower, kind of the ugliness of it. You can make it what you want. Every unit from the Bath Authority is custom built. Choose the premium accents. Choose your accessories. Right now, the Bath Authority is offering free installation on your new bath or shower, 36 months of 0% interest. So it's a great time to have that deal. So you want to visit thebathauthority.com. That's thebathauthority.com. A better bath awaits. We come back and check the Heisman odds. Will a Buckeye crash that party? Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Shark Carp and Beam here for our friends at FanDuel. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel. It is, after all, America's #1 sports book. But we have something a little different for you right now. Through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV, Bob.
Who doesn't love watching YouTube? Who doesn't love quad boxing? Get 2 TVs going. You don't need some big satellite dish to do it now. You just need to stream it. Then with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment. You can cancel anytime, Beamer.
Absolutely can. I had it last year, and I spent all my Sundays on the couch. It's one of the best things that's ever invented. You can quad box any game now, any 4 games that you want on there. Just visit FanDuel.com/juice to download America's #1 sports book. Must be 21 and older, present in Ohio. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds, terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns. Here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Small business owners, we know finishing your to-do list can feel like climbing a mountain, but that mountain is also covered in banana peels. Then when something new gets added to your list, you're like, nope, I'm already climbing this huge, super slippery banana peel mountain of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy to manage your policy on our mobile app. So climbing that banana peel mountain feels more like a leisurely stroll. See if you can save on commercial auto insurance in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone Flooring, a unique blend of natural stone and their specially formulated epoxy expertly installed over existing concrete. Nature Stone is the only flooring solution for garages, basements, and indoor spaces. Family owned and operated since 1989, no other company or product can match the features, benefits, and unconditional warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor. Visit naturestone.com today and schedule your cost estimate. Act now and save up to 50% off any Nature Stone floor. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Timmy Hall. The first Ryan Day show of the season took place today. Set your reminders that the show airs Thursdays at noon unless told otherwise. Here was how Coach Day opened things up.
We want to start fast. We want to start the season off on the right foot. It's been a long time to get to this game, and it's been a good preseason. It's been great competition. We've talked a lot about building a foundation for the entire season during the preseason.
We found out that the team is saying goodbye to the Blackwell Hotel for its home games. They'll stay at a hotel downtown instead so they can have more room for pregame walkthroughs, more room for activities, right? They'll also wear team-issued sweatsuits to the stadium instead of full-on suits. Sign me up for one of those sweatsuits. Baseball today, Reds host the A's at 5:10, Guards off before hosting the Pirates tomorrow night. This one is sponsored by Nature Stone. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. Remember, it's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
All right, final hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and CB. We'll talk to Dave Biddle at Bucknuts.com, bottom of the hour, hit some more on Ohio State going into their opener. Ross Bjork was on the coaches show earlier, and he lowered expectations. This isn't championship or bust. Let's play them one game at a time. Maybe that hurt the odds because now Ohio State's favored by 48.5.
There we go.
50.5.
So it dipped a little bit.
Maybe Ross Bjork single-handedly said, hey, they may not be who everyone says they are. You know what? It's one of those things that, you got to go prove it. Everybody knows that. It's no fun to wait. You want to make your predictions and all that. They should turn Akron into their own personal hand puppet on Saturday, and they get everybody they want in the game and how situationally how much they want to work. Will they be sharp 100%? Who knows? They could look brilliant. They could look a little bit, like, hey, it's the first game and might take a quarter and a half to get rolling. You never know. These things are
game one, baby. You're right.
It's game one. It doesn't mean that Akron should be playing with them.
No, not at all.
This shouldn't be anything other than a big paycheck game for them and one of those where they get to get tested against a national contender in a historic building, an in-state opponent and all that. You and I will visit with Dave Scozen tomorrow, play-by-play voice of the Zips.
Yeah.
Joe Moorhead's had a lot of moral victories for them recently. Maybe they are the school of moral victories right now. I don't know what a moral victory would look like against Ohio State. Maybe don't lose 70-0. Maybe that would be it. Maybe hold them under 50. Maybe score yourself. Maybe you can get in the end zone yourselves. Maybe
get out of here healthy. I don't know.
Healthy's a big one. Yeah,
both teams, honestly. But
all that's in play.
To your point about where the spread is and what Ohio State should look like, I'm excited to see a couple guys that are going to be, let's say, in the rotation. We'll call them backups for now, but you never know what that could look like at the end of the season, because I think it is, paramount to get guys ready to go and get valuable reps, because they are a team that believes over there that they're going to be the last team standing and have, the confetti fall from the dome and all those good things. So a guy like James Peoples at running back, we've heard a lot about him this offseason. I think we know absolutely what we're getting from Quinshawn and Travion, and that's doing a lot of damage on the ground. But James Peoples has been a name that has been talked about a lot, and they believe that he is ready to go. Maybe you turn the page the next year and he will be the guy, but we know that position is brutal. All those positions are brutal, but running back, we've seen guys get beat up a lot, and Travion's special, but he's missed games throughout his career. So James Peoples now seems to be in line to be a key contributor this year, and so I'm excited to see him on offense on Saturday. And Arvell Reese, another guy on defense who we've heard about as well. In that linebacker room, his ability to contribute, under the tutelage of Jim Knowles and James Laurinaitis. There's some guys ahead of him right now, Sonny Styles, Cody Simon, C.J. Hicks, those guys as well. But Arvell Reese has been a name as well, paired with James People, that it seems like there's confidence behind those two names that if their number is called, those guys can go out there and get busy too.
Yeah, they should, especially against overmatched opponents and teams that are worn down by the starters. And then you put these fresh backups in who are as good as most team starters would be, and they can have their day, and they should have their day. That's what it's about. And Ryan Day talked about building depth. It's interesting. We had Harry Carson on, the Hall of Fame linebacker from the Giants, last hour. And I know a lot of it sometimes does come off as cliche, but a lot of it, he's talking about, I asked him what made that 86 team special into that Super Bowl. And he talked about the ego check and how once the playoffs started, we did feel like that we were just, everybody was locked in on the same page. I've been saying it all through the offseason. I think Ohio State's biggest advantage outside their talent, of course, is the fact that they can sell to this team that they've been humbled. And they've been humbled by their rival, and they've been humbled in the national championship, whether it's a play here, a play there. Mm-hmm. And when you sell that enough, and then the guys come back for a lot of reasons, but one of them being, hey, I'm going to come back, we're going to try to win it all. It's such an advantage. And I wonder if that's, it may not be anything that you can put your finger on right now, but I'm wondering whatever adversity they come to this season, whether it's a close game at Oregon or losing at Oregon, or maybe the adversity is you're winning all of the games and you're not being challenged, and then the adversity is to try to keep them grounded. If they get too, high too fast, but that's unknown. But when I heard him say that, Manny, I was like, that's the special ingredient that everybody's looking for in a talented team. It's kind of like what Herbstreit was going for. Harry lived it, and he felt like, yes, we had reasons. We had Carl Banks. We had Lawrence Taylor. We had me. But when you think about it, they were going up against Elway. They were going up against, and it's just, that's what it takes. This team is going to have to somehow find a way to stay on task, and they have this history to back it up that they've lost to Michigan. The goals this year are just so in front of them right now. Okay, how do we earn the bye? Well, you earn the bye by getting a leg up by first beating Oregon. Can you do that on the road? That'll give you a massive lead in the bye. Can you, like you say, avoid the look ahead and all that? Can you...
And avoid the looking past the Iowa game.
Correct.
That looking past them when Iowa's coming in here off of a bye week with a couple weeks to prepare for you. So all those things are real. What you said, I don't think this team's getting distracted. I don't. I think because of the veteran leadership, everything that you've heard from those guys, the hunger that they have to absolutely, hit the ground running and just continue to roll week in and week out and get better and fine-tune things as the weeks roll along. I think that's what we're getting from this year's team. And to me, I think this year's Ohio State team has a real chance to mirror what we got from Michigan last year. And maybe they don't run the table from start to finish and go completely unscathed through this thing. But as far as the veteran leadership that we saw from Michigan and those guys having to go through some things, right, and not winning it all and continue to take swings at it, they came back to the 2023 table with vets all over the place. And I think that's what this Ohio State team will provide. And I think when you have that leadership and you have the experience that you're talking about, if you get clipped by Oregon, right, and you face them again in the Big Ten title game, I think this is a team that will be able to lock in and learn from the mistakes that they made in game number one. So I'm not too concerned about that. I'm really not with them looking ahead because they've been humbled a few times. And there's guys in that locker room that have felt the pain of not beating their rival and having to hear the noise and the what ifs and the questioning of who you really are as a team and its culture and all those things. So they'll get it rolling on Saturday. And I think that's going to be a constant thing we see from them is the ability to stay focused on the task at hand.
A lot of teams can sell singular focus. I think Ohio State truly can back it up this year of all years. And the other part of it is, as much as they have talent in so many places, they don't have a shoe-in Heisman. They don't. And for great teams, that sometimes can be a little odd. You start thinking about the teams that have a chance to win it all this year, Georgia, Texas, Oregon. They all have dudes that are have odds to at least be in New York for the Heisman. And sometimes that can be a distraction in itself, trying to get stats for your Heisman guy. And it doesn't mean that you can't do both. You can't win it all with a Heisman. It just means like it's good for Ohio State maybe to not have any shoe-in Heisman guy right now. That it feels like they have everything on paper they need to go win a title. And the biggest advantage they have maybe is that outside of all that talent is the fact that They haven't done it yet. And so when you have a team like Georgia, it's kind of been there, done that. You try to circle that around and do it again is certainly possible. But this is what Ohio State has in front of them right now. I mean, Will Howard is currently what quarterback is he in the Heisman race, Matt? Is he 5?
Fifth or sixth. He's at 14 to 1.
Beck, Ewers, Milrow. He's probably like 5.
Jackson Dart at 12 to 1, and then you get to Nico Ayama from Tennessee, and Will's right there at 14 to 1. And so I think the thing that I have to remind myself too when it comes to Will is the possibility of elevation to his game, going from Kansas State to Ohio State, and the numbers looking sexier for him because of what he's going to be able to do, not only with his legs, but the playmakers he's going to have on the outside. Emeka, Brandon, Carnell, Jeremiah, those guys are going to be absolute monsters throughout the year for him. So if Will Howard rips off a few big touchdowns on the ground this year and gets into a nice sexy number when it comes to rushing touchdowns and provides a nice amount of passing yards as well, I think he does have a chance to be in that conversation because of the team success that's going to come along with it. So his value right now is pretty good to me. I'm not mad at it at 14 to 1.
I agree with you because you're splitting carries with the running backs, presumably, unless one guy's always getting the touchdowns. So they could knock each other out when it comes to, well, who would you vote for, right? Unless the yards are so much bigger than the other guy's yards. But he does have the weapons. Now, what they're going to be asking him to do might be different, especially at the start of the season. You know, how long is he going to be in these games?
That's a good call.
Will they be, padding stats early? I don't know. It
to your point,
feel that way of what they want. He wants to play more guys.
To your point about, because I agree. A couple guys ahead of him in the odds. You talk about Carson Beck. Saturday, he gets Clemson right out of the gate. That could be a competitive game. Quinn Ewers next week. They're coming up to Ann Arbor against an elite defense. So how much runway will Coach Day give Will in the coming weeks when we're talking Akron and Western Michigan and some of these other teams? It could get out of hand, very early on. Not to say he can't, pack a whole bunch of elite stats in 2 quarters of play or 2.5 quarters of play. But I think you bring up a fair point in, will he have enough to work with early on before we get to Iowa and Oregon?
Yeah, he'll just have to, if he wants to get in this race and be on on the short list of New York, then he'll have to be big in the big games. That's it. Just have the signature moments.
No doubt.
The big signature moment certainly will be against Oregon because he's going up against a guy who's favored bigger in the Heisman, and Dylan Gabriel. You talked about their schedule. Their schedule lays out pretty nicely. You and I have talked about this as far as what they will get, how they will get tested this year, and what different units will get tested. Like you brought up Iowa, and certainly their offense, what their offense can be, will get tested that day at home, and then they immediately go to Oregon and see how their defense will be tested against Oregon, and then the game against Penn State, which comes November 2nd. You go into Penn State's schedule. Ohio State will get to go to Happy Valley when Penn State is coming off trips to USC and Madison. So they'll be coming off 2 roadies, games that they could lose or split. Who knows? Maybe they win them both. I don't know. They'll be coming home for Ohio State off of 2, road trip out west and then to Madison, which obviously isn't an easy place to play. So I do like the way Ohio State's schedule lays out this year.
AR, and I think there's a chance that they could play 4 consecutive ranked opponents. I think Nebraska's got a chance to be ranked when they come in here. And if am I looking at this correctly that they'll have a bye in there, or is that wrong? But either way,
about
between
Nebraska?
Oregon and Nebraska.
Yeah, there is a bye after Oregon.
So that's going to work out well for Ohio State. But I think Nebraska's schedule sets up for them. If Dylan Raiola is the truth, and I think he's going to be a good quarterback, but he is a true freshman. So I'm not going to ignore that. They play Colorado next week, but it's Northern Iowa, Illinois, Purdue, Rutgers, Indiana before they come to the shoe. So I'm just throwing it out there that's a defense that was really good last year in Nebraska, and they've got an upgrade at quarterback, and they turned the ball over so much last year. Nebraska did. One of the worst teams in the country at turning the rock over. Either way, that portion of the schedule is going to be real for Ohio State. I just think that Nebraska game may be something if Nebraska can get rolling and maybe come to that thing 7-0 or 8-0.
7-0 would be the number, so you got that right. It would be 7-0 coming into Ohio State if they could pull that off, and then, that should get them in the top 25.
It's another data point for you. No check mark for Ohio State if you can
their
get that
schedule
done.
is so backloaded. It's Ohio State, it's USC, it's Iowa, it's
Nebraska.
All at the back end of and the Wisconsin. They get them all on the back end of their schedule. So, listen, this is just the beginning for Ohio State and who's going to swim to the top for them. When we come back, we will do our pre-snap read. Zac Taylor backing up the truck, but not the one that has a lot of cash in it. That's next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
When that alarm clock goes off, Morning Juice comes on. The perfect way to dominate your day or just lay around the house. Morning Juice.
Weekdays at 6.
The Fan.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers and hot dogs on the grill, and a delicious, refreshing Pepsi Zero Sugar in your hand. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Pepsi, the official beverage of Grills Night Out.
Our nation's veterans put everything on the line to defend our nation. They're heroes. And when they need help, Congressman Mike Carey fights for them because he cares about America's veterans.
My name is Thomas Rand, and I put my life on the line serving our nation in Vietnam. But when I needed help with an outstanding disability claim, the VA wasn't there for me. But Congressman Mike Carey had my back. Because of his hard work, my claim was approved, and I got the help I needed. I'm thankful for Congressman Carey. He cares about our veterans.
Mike Carey will always fight to help our nation's heroes. If you're a veteran who needs help navigating government services, programs, and grants, call Congressman Mike Carey's office at 614-927-6902 or visit carey.house.gov. Paid for with official funds from the Office of Mike Carey.
Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just the slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, we are looking at partly the mostly cloudy skies, high 93. A late day shower is possible. A mostly dry night tonight, low 72. Hot and humid tomorrow with a high of 97. OSU football is set to kick off on Saturday. Keep an eye to the sky as we will have some rain in the area on Saturday. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, Maddie, Bet365 time.
Yes, sir, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5.
Don't know if there's a sleeper Heisman. And what I mean by that is, we know a quarterback's going to win it. But maybe the sleeper is Jackson Dart. Third
really
year.
A sleeper, though. We're kind of one eye open with him.
That's what I'm telling you. The only sleeper this year might be somebody in like high teens as far as odds go. I'm just looking for somebody outside of Quinn Ewers. We should know pretty early in his season whether he has a real shot at this thing and he could control this thing. Beck has a really tough schedule. If Gabriel knocks off Ohio State, he's one of the favorites anyway. That would be a massive signature moment for him if he beats Ohio State at home and looks good doing it. But I don't know if there's anybody else that's currently close to Jackson Dart's numbers that I would say, okay, I might as well do that, because I don't think any of these guys, like Nussmeier at LSU, Riley Leonard, no.
The kid from Tennessee people like Nico Iamaleava because of his rushing ability. Same could be said for Kansas State quarterback Avery Johnson, because he's supposed to be electric with his legs as well, but you're going to have to bank on Kansas State winning that conference and grabbing one of those top 4 seeds to get in the mix. But because of their skill sets, those guys, I think, could be attractive for some. Avery Johnson's 25-1. Nico Iamaleava is 14-1, and Tennessee starts off the year 15th, ranked 15th in the country. And so those are a couple guys maybe I think you could talk yourself into that could be in the mix if they can crawl out of the Big 12 or if Tennessee somehow wins the SEC. But maybe you don't even need to win the SEC.
Probably not. Jaden didn't need to. Right. He had, 3 losses, right?
If your stats are just that undeniable, there's only so much they can do or not do there as far as the voters. I'm going Jalen Milroe. That's my Heisman pick for 2024. I'm all in on Kalen DeBoer coming over. He's at 12-1 right now at Bet365. He's a really, really good deep passer down the field, so I think he's going to have explosive plays, and I think he's electric with his legs, and a bunch of showcase games for him. And one happens on September 28th against Carson Beck, and they get that game at home. So I'm going with Jalen Milroe to win the Heisman this year. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, listen, it's a very good pick. I think that Dylan Gabriel's got the signature moments. If he can beat Ohio State and Michigan, if he can knock off 2 big boys in the Big Ten, you'd have to do 1 at home and 1 on the road, and then avoid the egg lane, which could happen because I pointed out their schedule a million times on the back end after Ohio State. It's cross the country, back, cross the country, back. It's like...
He got one of those private jets?
He needs one. West Lafayette, back to Eugene. Ann Arbor, back to Eugene. Madison, back to Eugene.
I'm glad you brought up West Lafayette because DeVere was in for you one day last week, and he said, watch out for that Purdue game coming out of Ohio State. That's a Friday night game, too, so your schedule's thrown off just a little bit. He said things get weird over there, so he pointed out that one. So are you officially rolling with the lefty? Are you going with Dylan Gabriel? Are we stamping you in?
Boy, that's a tough... It's just no fun. He's the favorite.
Let's have some fun.
Is he the favorite?
He is, plus 600. Let's have some
Where's
fun.
Where's Beck?
He's right after him, plus 600. I like how you were kind of flirting around with Jackson Dart. I picked a 12-1 guy, too. Jackson Dart's 12-1. They're supposed to be really good, Ole Miss.
I think that's more fun to do this. Quinn Ewers, I could be talked into. What are his odds?
Quinn Ewers is plus 900. He's third in line.
It's going to be a lot on his shoulders. He's got the schedule to do it. He'd have to. I think Jackson Dart, to me, is one of those guys. I wanted somebody in the double digits, so Let's do it.
There you go. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Nice comeback win for your Guardians yesterday, CB. They needed that. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
I got to give it to Zac Taylor. This is the way to handle it. I think these coaches, for guys that are holding in and all that, are put in very, very tough spots. All they can do is talk about the guys that they have and then hope that guy is a part of it. Yes, he was a little too optimistic, and he rectified that.
I think I probably put my foot in my mouth speaking too quickly. And it's just, again, this is a day-to-day situation. We'll just keep seeing it as that. What's good about us is we have really good depth and the skill position spot on offense. So a lot of guys working at practice to get those reps. And so, of course, we'd love for him to be practicing and get those reps. But at the same time, it does give other guys an opportunity to continue to step up in that role and show us why they're here. And so, again, you got to find the positives in this situation. And there's a lot of positives to getting other guys work. The smartest thing for us to do is just keep working through it, keep taking it day to day. Again, he's a huge member of our team, and appreciate him and look forward to getting him back hopefully at some point soon.
Good answer, Coach. No more of this we're good to go stuff. No more of this, like that's...
He got excited. He saw his guy back, and he's catching passes out there, and he's like, here we go, baby. We're rocking and rolling. Number 9, number 1, and number 5 are back. But Jamar, here's my guess on the situation. I think they had conversations. Jamar felt good about it. He and his agent, he said, you know what, we're close. I'm going to go out there on the field. They probably tried to run that contract through the finish line, and another speed bump happened, and Jamar said, you know what, I'm good. I'm not practicing, and so here we are with this just square off from both sides, just on one side of the ring and the other on the other side of the ring, and it doesn't feel like Mike Brown is going to budge, and we shall see. The season is right around the corner. Next week, we're talking official game week for the NFL, and they got the New England Patriots coming into town, who, by the way, named Jacoby Brissett their starter. So no surprise there. But the Jamar thing is just wacky at this point. I don't know what we're doing.
Doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel good. It shouldn't. And the only leverage he has is the ultimate leverage, which is I'm willing to sit.
And I'm that dude.
That's the biggest part of it. That's what I mean. Yes,
I'm that dude.
Right. It doesn't work if you're not.
If you're Trent Irwin.
If you're that. Right.
You know?
It doesn't work. And so this is one of those deals that his agent has to do the talking for him, but he does not have to suit up and risk injury. And so Zac Taylor's at a horrible. I don't envy his spot to be put in front of a microphone every day and ask what's the update.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's all business. It's all behind the scenes. We know what kind of player he is. We know what kind of work ethic he has. But right now, the timing of those two things is not button up.
And I need Jamar to figure this out, because in my other league, I'm picking 5th, and I feel like I'm going to be like, he may be there. And do I go Amon-Ra? Do I go Jamar? Like, I need this figured out by next
If
Tuesday.
he's signed, would you take him?
Over Amon-Ra?
Yeah. Because I don't think it matters for you now. I think if he's not signed, you're
Amon-Ra.
Either way.
If he's not there and Amon-Ra and Chase are on the board, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be panicking.
It's all down to the big if. Burrow stays healthy. You know, they are an outdoor team. They're probably going to be a little more pass heavy this year, so that's good.
Oh, they're
there's no denying. I mean, there are some mouths to feed in Detroit for sure. He's a big one. But that indoor, on the carpet, like, I can't imagine. For me, if I was picking your spot and both guys were signed, sealed, and delivered, I'm probably taking Amon-Ra.
The sun god. You're going with him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's good advice. Thank you. I appreciate your counsel.
But, you know, Burrow's the big X factor, man.
You're like you're like the hand of the king for me. You know? Give me good advice. I appreciate you.
The great thing is you probably will have to, your decision will probably be made for you. You're probably hoping he still holds in. That way he takes the decision out of your hands.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, we're going to come back with Dave Biddle, and we'll talk to him about the Buckeyes and any surprises we might see for the opener. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
At Byers Auto, we've been football fans since 1897, back when tailgates had actual tails. Our legacy of supporting our local team is as strong as our commitment to providing exceptional vehicles. While we're known for our new cars, we also offer a variety of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. Our friendly staff is here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget. Visit us in person or shop online at buyersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Buyers.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island. This season on Nada Yada Island.
You were charging your phone? I waited hours for you.
That's how long it takes.
Join Metro and get a free Motorola Edge that'll charge for the day in 15 minutes. At Metro, there's no activation fees. Only at Metro by T-Mobile.
Bring your number ID and sign up for Metro Flex Plus plan. Offer not available if at T-Mobile or have been with Metro in the past 180 days. Requires 68-watt charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary.
Swimming is a great way to exercise and spend time with family and friends. Always swim with a buddy, keep an eye on children, and be prepared in an emergency if there is no lifeguard on duty. The next time you go to the pool, be water smart and know where the safety equipment is located. Complete the Ohio Department of Health Safety Equipment Scavenger Hunt and learn more about pool safety at odh.ohio.gov/swim. Have a safe swim.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Bishop and Friends.
Joey, you like these things so much, why don't you try eating these in the contest? You know, a meat stick is going to stay together, but in a non-meat stick situation, it's anarchy.
Bishop and Friends.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Wendy's new Saucy Nugs come in 7 saucy flavors. Yep, you can literally hear your taste buds going. Taste bud sounds may vary. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. The people who refuse to make trade-offs in life. Like Kelly, when her old car insurance got so expensive that she couldn't afford to drive anymore, do you think she started carrying her groceries for miles? No. But she did find Direct Auto's savings that allowed her to drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25%, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a quote today at directauto.com. Savings based on applied discounts and will vary. Terms apply. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
We're dealing at Reichert Ford.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Thousands of vehicles are waiting at ReichertFord.com.
Right
at Reichert. We're dealing.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
These two have a ton in common. Anthony loves hockey, and Maddie's always cold.